It's the 202. It's the 202. It's the 202. It's the 202. This is how we do when we party. It's the 202. It's the 202.
Hello, everyone. Today on the 202 from Mongolia with love. For your ears only, a unique music experience from across the ocean to our soundstage.
Plus, how many chefs can brag about having their own radio studio just steps away from the kitchen? An award-winning chef turns up the heat at his newest restaurant. It's all right here on the 202.
Our guests today are here to help prove that old adage that music is universal.
From over 6,500 miles away, they are bringing the music of Mongolia and the horsehead fiddle to the 202 with a twist. Ladies and gentlemen, Anura Music. Welcome to you both for coming here.
Thank you so much.
All right, first of all, introduce yourselves.
Okay, my name is Bella. My Mongolian name is Mukhbagel. It's very hard to say, I think.
I'll stick with Bella.
Yeah, you can stick with Bella. And I'm the pianist of that Anura music.
Okay.
My name is Hattenbolt. My short name is Hatna. You can call me Hatna.
Hatna.
Yeah,
Hatna.
I'm horsehead fiddler. Yeah.
Interesting.
Tell me about this fiddle, the horsehead fiddle. Is it hard to learn? Could I learn it?
Maybe you can.
Say yes.
Yeah. Yes. Yeah.
But it's very important to Mongolia. It's an important historical aspect to it.
Yeah, of course. So horse-headed fiddle is such a big part of Mongolia's culture. So it's been going around since hundreds and hundreds years ago.
Hundreds of years.
Wow.
Yeah, I want to introduce as a horse-headed fiddle to America because it's really unique.
I tell you,
Special music.
I can't wait to hear how it sounds.
Yeah. So you've been here about a year or so,
Yeah,
spreading the music of Mongolia all throughout Washington, D.C. How would you describe your sound?
We've been here only like around the 2 years.
Yeah.
And then we're working together, I think 1 year and a half. And then usually we make the cover songs of Mongolian and American hit songs. And of course we working on the original songs too. And the horsehead fiddle is so special music instrument. And we try to make special sounds and then like unique sound.
Interesting. We're dying to hear it.
I know,
So
I
we're
can't
going to
wait.
get out of the way
Yeah.
and let you do your
Okay,
thing.
thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Music is universal. Thanks
Awesome.
to Anura Music, to both of you for coming. All right, coming up from the New Line Hotel in Adams Morgan, one of DC's most exciting restaurant owners.
Yes, award-winning chef Erik Bruner-Yang is right here, so don't you go away. The 202 will be back in a flash.
It's the 202. It's the 202. It's the 202. It's the 202. It's the 202.
Welcome back to the 202. Now, he's known for unique restaurants like Toki Underground and Maketto, but also for always trying something different.
And that something different is new restaurants at a new hotel and a weekly podcast called Rice. Erik Bruner-Yang is in the house. Thank you so much for coming.
We got you here, finally.
I'm like a ghost.
You sure are, man.
You're a big celebrity.
I appreciate that. Thank you.
I see a lot of you on YouTube, on social media. I mean, how does that feel? Now you can't really walk down the street.
I think that's a funny assumption because I know that people on our team and in our company know that I don't really love to put myself out there all the time. So I think that's a funny interpretation. But, you know, happy that people love what we do and make guests happy. So that's what, you know, that's what we're in it for.
Nice, nice.
Now, it's not just the great food at all these restaurants you seem to be opening all over the city, but the podcast, I'm really intrigued by that. It's called Rice.
Yeah, so we, Seidel Group, the owners of the Line Hotel, they really kind of went outside of the box where they had this corner where they could, typically people would want to put something like a retail space or maybe another bar, because most businesses are just thinking about how we can make more money. But the full service radio, the radio station that hosts almost 50, 60 podcasts from creatives all over Washington, D.C., is just a really great way to connect all of the dots of all of the amazing things that are happening here in D.C. And the producer, Jack Inslee, really was basically begging me to do a podcast. Wow. And I do the show Rice with my wife. It's a nice time. Once a week, we spend 1 hour together talking about all the different types of topics that we're interested in, and kind of our ideas that the idea of Rice, the story itself, is not really a food podcast, but the stories of how food and personal stories shape food in America. So
absolutely.
Not necessarily like talking about dishes or cooking, but how a personal journey or personal story can shape food identity in America. So that's kind of what our podcast is about.
So do you plan it out? Do you guys just like kind of chill? You're like, honey, well, you know what, yesterday, and you're enjoying a meal or something?
Like Michelle and I do.
No, we're definitely not planners. But my wife is the smarter out of the two of us, and she is really good at engaging the guests, and I'll typically find the guests, and then she'll kind of do the background, and then I'll just make smart comments in the background.
I love that, Erik. I think he's a natural. He doesn't want to admit it.
So set the scene for us. The New Line Hotel is in Adams Morgan. Big reveal, I'm an Adams Morgan
native. We see you there. I'm happy to say that.
Now, so it's the original church. It's a huge, beautiful church that's been converted into a hotel, the New Line Hotel. Right. Set the stage. What is it like?
Yeah.
So we have two restaurants in there. Our first one just opened when the hotel opened, called Brothers and Sisters. And it's my first restaurant in Northwest. I think most people know me as a member of the Northeast community. All my businesses are in Northeast. And it was a really interesting experience opening a restaurant for me and not really knowing the community well that I was opening the restaurant. Spent time in Adams Morgan, but you know, it's like in Northeast, it's like every time it snows, I know Anthony's gonna show up and shovel the snow, and then, you know, we'll have to take him and his, you know, do something for him in return, but it's just like a very neighborhood thing for us in Northeast. In Adams Morgan, it's like still getting to know those people and doing that experience, but it was really important for us to open a restaurant that represented what we do in Northeast, but do it in Northwest. So I spent a lot of time there engaging with people, making it feel neighborhoodly, and I don't think hotel restaurants typically do that. You know, if it's busy on a Tuesday, that means we're doing something right with the neighborhood. So that's kind of how we approach it.
So you get a lot of people that are coming to watch and listen to the podcast, and then they're going right over into the restaurant, which is probably by design.
Yeah, I mean, it's you can't really tell where you're supposed to check in or where the restaurant starts. But it's definitely the purpose of it and making people feel welcome, not just for the people that live in Adams Morgan, but also for the hotel guests.
Now,
and for me, it's my first non-Asian restaurant. I think it has a lot of Asian nuances and touches that end up feeling Asian, but it's the first place where I could do a burger or a Caesar salad and kind of venture out a little bit from what people expect from me. And that was a cool challenge, and I'm happy that we did. And I think we did it well.
Yeah. So where does that name, Brothers and Sisters, come from? How did you come up with that?
I was having a really hard time thinking about what we were going to name it in the first place. First, it's not an Asian restaurant.
Right.
Next, it's in a church, and you need to be respectful to that. And then you also don't want it to come off cheesy. So for me, I always look at these neoclassical buildings, these really Anglo-Saxon motifs. You know, churches end up becoming banks or libraries or study halls. And it just reminded me, as an immigrant, the first time I stepped on a college campus, what that experience was like. And that's what I think of old Anglo-Saxon kind of structures, is just this repurposing. And so that was the kind of ideas you've been there, everyone's kind of dressed like they're in college, or like old kind of Ivy League vibe. And then we used the brothers and sisters idea that we're all kind of cut from the same cloth instead of nuns and preachers. So kind of just that whole full circle of it.
Is it becoming a challenge for you to maneuver so much? You know, Maketto and Tokyo Underground, and now this.
Uber is great, and so is valet. The Line Hotel valet team they're the best people. I love them.
Now, Michelle and I have seen you at the Grammy Awards, nominated here and there, winning, but you had another big award not too long ago, the James Beard.
Yeah, well, I haven't won yet, but being recognized and being a semi-finalist or a finalist is, to me, that's
big.
That's winning too.
That's huge.
So I'll take the pressures of not winning versus being nominated.
It's just like the Grammys and the Oscar nominated. That's huge.
Yeah, that's basically winning in my book, just getting nominated. So I'm happy about that.
And so many other chefs love you. They talk about you so much.
I'll take it.
Talk about you so much. Love it. Of course, today's guest chef has come bearing treats.
Award-winning chef Erik Bruner-Yang joins us in the tasting room right here on the 202. We'll be right back after this.
It's the 202. It's the 202. It's the 202. It's the 202. It's the 202.
And welcome back to the 202. As you can see, Michelle and I are here with one of DC's award-winning chefs for a tasting.
And chef and restaurant owner Erik Bruner-Yang did not have to twist our arms for this part of the show. I am so ready.
All right.
All right.
So today we're going to do one of the sleeper hits on the Maketto menu. You know, Maketto, everyone loves the dumplings that we do. We have some crystal shrimp dumplings. These are our pork buns and our leek buns that people super love.
Okay.
And then also everyone loves the Taiwanese fried chicken that we do over here. But this dish we started doing about a year ago, and it's called strange flavor eggplant. So the Chinese character for eggplant almost also translates to the word strange, so that's kind of how that came about. But this dish started in about the 1980s, late 70s in San Francisco, and we always like to tell stories about Chinese food in America really being an American story. So this is really a dish that evolved in America and is a part of the American food story versus a Chinese food story. Yeah. It's pretty straightforward, and it's perfect for this show because at the end of the day, you really only need two pieces of equipment. You just need to be able to roast something in the oven, and then you just have to be able to blend something afterwards. So ideally, right, you have, it's basically two main ingredients, eggplant and tofu.
Okay.
So you would roast the eggplant, and then once the eggplant is done roasting, what you would do, pretty simply, is just kind of peel off all the skin, essentially, here.
So we don't put anything on it first, no oil?
You don't really need to.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
Right? And then you would have this delicious inside part, which is kind of, you know, one of the cameramen and producers earlier, they saw this, they're like, oh, it looks like baba ganoush. And that's a really great way to talk about it. It's almost like Asian Chinese style baba ganoush, right? So if you had like a mixing bowl, you would put all this different eggplant in here. And then you would just season it with a little bit of soy sauce and salt, right? And then at the end of the day, you would get a product like this if you want to taste it.
Okay.
All right.
Now, what is this?
This is basically eggplant, grilled eggplant or roasted eggplant blended with a little bit of soy sauce.
Go on, girl.
You got it. He'll do it.
Not bad.
Right? Exactly.
Try it, Furman.
All
Try
right.
some, try some.
Yeah, we heard your belly rumbling. We're ready to go. Right? It's very simple, very easy.
Oh, that's
Yeah,
good.
it's not bad.
And then we have, this is with the tofu. So you would blend that up in your blender. Then you would take your tofu and you would blend your tofu up. Okay, this almost looks like hummus, right? Identical to hummus. So we just blend this up with a little bit of soy milk. I always tell people to keep their Chinese food restaurant containers. They make the best containers, right? Soy milk, a little bit of soy milk, a little bit of sesame seeds, and then you get this that looks kind of like a hummus, right? And so basically you would blend that up, and then this is kind of our presentation plate here, okay? So this is the tofu hummus here, and then you have your eggplant puree, right, here in the middle. And then we have a couple of extra touches that make it fancy, right?
I love all the little bowls.
That's right.
And that's how I love to do brunch, you know, with my eggs. Put all these little bowls around.
Yeah, I know.
You know, just makes it more fun.
This is a puree of herbs, mint, basil, cilantro,
Ooh,
dill.
that looks beautiful. I love
does.
that color.
All right, some
You
pickled
guys are
chilies.
so artistic. You have to be
Yeah.
an artist to be a chef.
I think being artistic helps, but I don't think you necessarily have to. Sometimes ugly food is the best tasting food, right?
Yeah,
don't I know.
occasionally.
So some pickled chili, some scallions. We're going to do some fried shallots. This kind of selection here of scallions, fried garlic, fried shallots, and pickled chilies we call the taste of Maketto because we kind of put it on everything.
Okay.
And then some
Put that
olive
on
oil, right? And then when you're done, you basically
looks
have,
beautiful.
this is what the strange flavor eggplant looks like at the restaurant. I don't know where you want to do your beauty shot.
Yeah, we got to show it to
Look
the,
at that.
to the camera there.
Can you get that?
Oh,
Yep,
man.
super cool.
Yeah.
And then you just eat it with bread,
Yeah.
and that's it. So from beginning to end, from the roasting to the blending, because everything is just seasoned with a little bit of salt and soy sauce, only takes like 15 minutes.
Wow.
Wow.
Pretty
Man.
easy dish. Sleeper hit at Maketto. We really love it. Guests really love it. They think the name is funny, so they end up buying it, and then they ended up loving the dish. So,
Wow.
All right,
this is the
Furman, dig right
French
in.
flavor
Well,
eggplant.
well, while I taste
Wait, you want a
this-
piece of bread?
No, I'm supposed to stay away from bread a little bit.
Get some of the eggplant. Get some. Get
Okay.
the whole
But I
thing.
heard that stomach of yours. Come on, you want some bread.
I taste so many flavors all at one time, and that's
And look, and so
delicious,
many
yeah.
textures. I
Yeah,
love
you get
that.
crunchy, you get salty, you get sweet, you get sour. Those are kind of like all the flavor profiles we try to hit with every dish. When we teach young chefs, we're like, and they'd be like, hey, try this new dish I'm working on. I was like, well, we need to hit all these flavor profiles. We need to hit salty, we need to hit sweet, we need to hit sour, we need to hit crunchy, because people like to have different things going on.
I've got to try it. I cannot have
yeah,
you
go
here
right, yeah.
doing something and
Now she's
not
ready.
even
You broke
try
the
it.
ice. Now she'll do it.
So is anything like this on the Brothers and Sisters menu? I know you're doing sort of American fare there, but do you try to sneak in something like this in?
Yeah, the idea for brothers and sisters is kind of like, especially when we do training, is that because we're such an immigrant culture, there's so many variations on American dishes from how immigrants have interpreted them, right? So like my family, we always had spaghetti and meatball night on Mondays, but we never actually had it with spaghetti. We would always have it with rice. It'd be rice, red sauce, and meatballs,
Yeah.
and that was our version of spaghetti and meatballs. And I think that there's so many stories like that across the spectrum. And it really just depends on where you're from or where your family was from and what's in your pantry, right? So just because, you know, my family didn't really have salt, so we would use soy sauce or fish sauce. But you can make an amazing burger, you can make an amazing Caesar salad, you can make all these dishes that people consider American,
Yep.
but just using the kind of immigrant pantry or ethnic pantry you have at
I
your own
love
home.
it.
Fantastic.
Already, you've made my palate more sophisticated.
There we go.
Well, I tell you what, Michelle and I are going to stop by the Line Hotel and stop in the Brothers and Sisters and meet you again.
Happy to host
Thanks so
again.
much.
Yeah, you're welcome. My hands are dirty, so just do it like that.
What a great show today. Thanks to Mongolia's Anura Music and Chef Erik Bruner-Yang, and of course, my co-host Michelle Wright.
And thanks to you and DJ Lali and all of you for watching. Furman and I will see you again next time on the 202.
This the 202. Yeah. This the 202. This is how we do when we party in the 202. Hey.
Home of that good live music.
Come on.
Live on set, live audience approves it. The best hosts, it don't get no tighter.
Yeah.
Furman and Michelle can't get no righter. Taxation, no representation.
Nah.
But the 202 repping for the capital nation. So from 703 to the 301. Yeah, we all come to have some fun. It's the 202.
It's the 202. This the 202.
It's the 202.
This is how we do when we party in the 202.
Yeah, it's the 202.
Yeah. This the 202. This the 202.
It's the 202.
This is how we do when we party in the 202.
Yeah, it's the 202.
Yeah. This the 202. This the 202.
It's the 202.
This is how we do when we party in the 202.
It's the 202.